hard working, dedicated. Would like to dedicate this to those who never hate it. Can't nothing hold us down. Can always go another round. Welcome to the underground. Real sports with real sports guys. It's a flex that had his mindset, ready for whatever grind next. My mindset, working with the time left, hard working, dedicated. Would like to dedicate this to those who never hate it. Can't nothing hold us down. Can always go another round. Welcome to the underground. Real sports with real sports guys.
If I get this right, the RSG CFP Trust rankings. We go because if you've been around RSG, we got the can't trust you list for basketball. For football, we're gonna say who can we trust? Can we trust them with all these rankings? Who can we trust? We could sit here and break down every game, but now we'll get away from that. We'll say who can we trust right now? And so we have 8 teams who are playing this weekend, and we rank them from at number 1 who we trust the most, down to 8 who we trust the least. Now we're gonna get into the variance between. It might be close, and there might not be that much of a great difference between 1 and 8. Nah, if you end up at 8, we just don't trust you. There's something about you. You don't look people in the eye. Something about you. We just say, we can't mess with you right now. We don't trust you. So we're gonna do this as our first time doing it. We're gonna get a little bit loose here. So we're gonna start with each of us naming the top 4 teams we trust. The top 4 teams we trust. Who wants to go first? Want me to go?
Yeah, go, brother. Yeah.
I'll let you go. Since I'm the one who brought it up, I'll let you go. Okay. The more I got into it, I like my number one. I like my number one got flaws too. So all these teams for some reason got a little flaw to it.
I don't trust none of these people.
Yeah,
I don't trust
I'm saying I trust. But we got to rank. We got
the whole 12 teams is different. Yeah, but these.
So the number 1 team I trust is the Buckeyes. And I'm saying, why do I do that? This is a Michigan fan.
Okay,
but
bro.
You can trust him.
You just want Ryan Day to stay coach, so y'all can beat him. That's all. Let's keep it real. That's the only reason why y'all saying that. Y'all want Ryan Day to stay in Columbus so y'all can beat him again. So
look.
That's the only reason why. Yeah.
Look. I'm gonna say this. The team they're playing is near the top of the list, so that it's the first away team. I trust. So you're gonna see this is gonna be a little bit closer than you think when you see it all come together. But you can trust the Buckeyes against anybody but Michigan and Oregon. For the most part, you look at Ryan Day; he's 66-10. Now he's got some struggles against some SEC teams, and he's had some struggles against some top teams. But he's playing at home at the Horseshoe in December, uh, with his back against the wall. I believe they're going to respond for him. My gut was not to put them this high, but I think he's the one who's got the most pressure right now. After everything went through, the gut punch they got, these cats, the only way they can save their season is make a run right now. And they just lost to Michigan at home. I just can't see them going out twice.
And knowing what you know about Ryan Day, do you think pressure is a good thing?
In this instance, you've watched them. What was it last year? They went out to the Rose Bowl. They went out and ran up the score. I mean,
no, they laid an egg last year. They played Missouri and got ran off the building.
Oh, that's Missouri up there. Yeah. I just feel like I feel like he got back there. I think they're gonna respond.
No, the Rose Bowl was 2
years ago.
3 years. 3 years ago.
I'm trying to get my head again.
That was when
I feel like they're good. I normally do it. My gut is I feel like they're gonna respond. Ain't no way in the world Ryan Day is gonna lose this game. Ain't no way. It ain't happening. It just ain't gonna happen. You could play the numbers. Ain't no way in the world he gonna walk out of that stadium without the L. I trust that. With everything else. So my number 2 team is the Longhorns. And part of it, besides they're gonna have an economic boost down there, they predicted they're gonna have down there. They just came out a tough battle with Georgia, but they do it on both sides of the ball. And right now, Georgia is the one team that is hitting them with it, but they do it on both sides of the ball. And I think um, uh, I trust how they'll approach the game, and I trust the fact that's a tough place to go and win. I think they're going to be able to do it. Georgia obviously is a different kind of animal if they were in this, but I think Texas got everything you need on both sides of the ball. They're at the crib. I think it's going to be a battle. That's why number 3 I got Clemson. So I got Texas at 2, but I got Clemson at 3. And uh, uh, Clemson's interesting because I think this is going to be a tangle. Klubnik, I'm starting to look inside the numbers. It's 63.7% completion. He's got he threw for over 3,000 yards, 33 touchdowns, and only 5 interceptions. But he ran for 458 yards and 7 TDs. So that balance they needed, he struggled in previous years to execute like that, but it seems like he's catching. The only thing I'm worried about with them is their running game. SMU was on them on their running game, and their running back is coming from an injury. But I think if there's a team that can go on the road that know how to do it with everything against them, it's as much as we talked about Dabo, there's something that just says, damn, this stuff ain't gonna be right until it looked like he got something else to say. And if he can win this, I trust him to make this a tight battle as well. So Clemson's my first road team. My second road team, this is why I have here, is Tennessee. It's at 4. Um, you know, this
So
is
you're
where
not looking at you just not gonna look at the other side of the bracket, huh?
nah, the other side of the bracket, I'm looking at it, but they a little lower. I got Tennessee at 4. Part of it is everything everybody says about Day. Day is 1-3 in college football playoffs. He 0-3 against the SEC. Tennessee's got a lot. They go on the road. The only thing that makes it difficult for Tennessee, it might be a little cold up in Columbus.
It's
Columbus is
going to
still in
be
the war.
cold in Columbus. It's going to be 20
Very
degrees.
cool.
Yeah, it's going to be a little cold up in there, and so my big thing is how I got a sense of how they're going to handle. See, this is what all them SEC teams talking junk until you got to get into that hawk. This is when we're going to understand whether or not you're a football team. When you get that hawk on your head, that hawk put a cap on your head. That's what it is. So I got Tennessee at 4. All right,
All right.
who want to go next?
I'll go next. And so we just talking about week 1. We just talking about the first round.
This is the first round.
My number 1 team is Penn State, and you go and we both made shockers in the first round. My first round pick is Penn State because, like you said, SMU, their strength is on the ground, and I don't think y'all just gonna go in there and run over Penn State with their front 7. I think their front 7 gonna stand up. They're gonna stand on business, and you playing in Happy Valley. I don't think it's going down like that. I think Penn State is my number 1 confidence pick for my for my for my round 1.
Do
Number
you trust the
2,
quarterback? Because the backup quarterback just went to transfer portal. We watched him save them at
Yeah,
Wisconsin. He gone.
that's
He
not
just jumped
saying
in the
too much,
portal,
man.
and
That's not
he
saying too
beat them
much.
yeah.
twice. He not
That's
Well, a
gonna
not
be
lot of
saying too much against Wisconsin. That ain't
well
saying too much.
some
Man.
guys are in the portal, but they staying with the team. So I don't know if
He
is
not
he
coming.
actually
From
He
gone.
not
what I'm
staying.
seeing,
He
he
left
not
the
coming
team.
back.
He left the team. Yeah, he's gone now.
Hey, you know what? We getting it done. I put my faith in
So you
James
asked me where
Franklin.
Penn State
I don't
was.
know.
That's why Penn State was down. Hammer and I watched. Hammer, I watched the backup quarterback save them at Wisconsin.
Mhm.
So we. So go
And
ahead.
my number 2 team is Indiana. I think Indiana's going to go in there in South Bend and take
Yeah,
it over. They gonna plant their flag, and Kurt Signetti gonna be in there talking his stuff.
I, I,
Man,
I,
it's going.
I was about to go with that. I was about to put Indiana at number 1. You
Yep.
talking to me, man? I might switch
Yeah.
up. Go ahead,
He,
talk.
he
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
He gonna. You just so he. The team is a well coached team. They're always well prepared, and I think, and you know, Notre Dame is susceptible when they face a little bit of resistance. They could, you know, they're susceptible to crumble a little bit. But you know, so my number 3 team is Ohio State. I was talking about I question you putting Ohio State at 1, and I question Ohio State 2. But Man, they got Nico coming in, the young quarterback from Tennessee. Um, and also I think this type of matchup is out of almost any other team in the field. Jim Knowles is going to be as well prepared as anybody to go against this type of offense because he comes from the Big 12. He did his thing at Oklahoma State, and I think he's going to be ready for that up tempo, wide split kind of the veer and shoot offense because the veer and shoot that's Art Browse. But Jim Knowles he came up in that, so I think he'll have a good game plan for that. The question mark is what happens if you go into the game and they can't block James Pearson them on the Tennessee defensive line. If they can't block them, it's
Only
gonna
get
be a
hurt, man.
long night.
Only get hurt.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be a
Tennessee's
long
got that
night.
great defense. They got a good defensive front.
Yep.
As good as Michigan's was in terms of, because that's what Michigan's strength was, the two guys in the middle, and Tennessee's
Yeah.
got those guys. Yep,
And then Texas is my fourth team.
yep.
Texas could be a little higher because their defense, they have so much talent. Especially with starting with Andrew Bakuba that came from Clemson. So it's gonna be interesting. He's coming back um to where it all started. No, well, not coming back. He's at home, but playing against his own team, playing against Dabo and them. It's gonna be personal, and I think Texas defense can shut Clemson down. And if Clemson, yeah, because we've seen Clemson in these big matchups struggle to score with their offense, and I think I think Texas will pull this one out. So those are my four teams. I got Penn State, I have Indiana, I have Ohio State, and I have Texas.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, Hammer, your top four.
Top four, I'll start with Texas. Again, Ewers, excuse me, as well as it's a balanced team, so I like them. Also, just who they're playing. Clemson's kind of got in there, stuck in there the last moment, but I'm not crazy about Clemson, so they're my one team. Two team, I like Notre Dame. Notre Dame had that little blip in the season with NIU, but they really put it together, and also I think that this team's going to rally around Coach Freeman. Coach Freeman signed an extension. A lot of rumors about him going to the NFL. I think that'll be silenced. I think you're going to see Riley Leonard and the crew really have play hard for him, and the Battle of Indiana. I think they'll win it. As far as three, like Tennessee. Again, I don't trust Ohio State. They seem like they're male midgets now, and with Tennessee, you talk about the defense and the pressure. I don't trust Will Howard, so that's three. And then my final team, surprised me, SMU. I like the way they played as far as ACC schedule. Like Coach Lashley's really, last year they had a different thing when they had a lesser conference. We were able to run out this year. The same thing with ACC. Obviously they're ACC ACC team in name only, but I like that as far as those teams. So those are my four teams. It's also indicative of, again, who they're playing. I don't trust the people they're playing, and so in our next set, our next four, obviously we'll lay out why these teams are lacking, why we don't trust them, and why they are 5 through 8, and particularly number 8, who will I'm sure we'll do our usual RSG and diss them and clown them on these airwaves like they should be for being untrustworthy. So yeah,
So the one I push back on is Notre Dame, just because offensively they're limited sometimes. Like they can't throw, right?
yeah,
I mean, they got receivers, but they can run the ball, but they one dimensional. I just think they're going up against a coach with a little bit of preparation. I mean, NIU had a little bit of preparation, and I know they've been dominant ever since. But
down ever since.
I trust Freeman and defense. I don't know if I trust anything they do offensively
I
against
trust
real
offense.
competition.
I trust. I mean, I think it has been fool's gold, man. So I think again, I mean the Ohio State game kind of exposed them. They had a great season. I give Coach Cincinnati credit as far as him coming 1 year from James Madison, paying the NIL, doing the thing, really build a culture from the portal and a culture of winning. But again, Notre Dame is hot. Obviously the NIU game is people have been studying for the whole year, but that was only a blip on the season, and so a blip that cost them probably undefeated season. But we'll see again. Like I said, I understand your concerns, but again, I look at the other ones and I have more concerns about people on the other side.
So if we're talking about the Ohio State matchup for Indiana, do you think Notre Dame has the talent? Do you think they'll have the talent disparity that Ohio State had against Indiana?
I think again you're talking about two different coaches. I think that Mr. Day is one of the worst big game coaches in the league. Yeah, as far as talent, of course, Ohio State has more talent, but again, it's not all about talent.
Yes, it was. If you watch,
It's not all about talent now. It's not all about talent now.
I'm saying the big
Oh,
difference.
that game,
That game it was just a landslide of talent.
Yeah.
I don't think there's that, but I don't think the same disparity exists in this matchup.
No, but I trust the coach more. I trust the culture more, the coach more, and so it's one thing you'll see in this now sort of expanded playoff. I think you're gonna really see where the coach is gonna rise to the top, and the people with the type of cultures are winning and rise. The people with cultures are losing, like the Penn States who can't beat big teams, and Mr. Day who can't beat Michigan, and others. I think again they'll be exposed on this at this higher level. I think this is where you're gonna really see the pretenders and the contenders, and so I think that's where you'll see. And so I look forward to this weekend. I think again, people who I do not trust and expect to be exposed will be exposed this weekend, and the ones who are again trustworthy and able to execute are gonna again come out of this historic playoff with trust in going on to again being in the next round. So,
All right. So Darnell, I'll let you go with your next four.
The next four. Wait, so first round, we still talking about first round? Or we talking
we're
about
talking about first round, but
all
first round,
weekend, 18.
top 8,
So there's only 18, so I just got to talk about the rest of the team.
Four more,
four more.
So I got to rank them in order.
Yeah.
All right, let me go Tennessee, number one, for the reasons I already talked about. You know what I'm saying, with their defensive line, the way they can get after the passer.
You already did 1 through 4. We just need
the next
5,
four,
6, 7, and 8.
Yeah, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
I'm saying for the next. This is my first team for 5, 6, 7, 8 because I didn't.
Okay.
Tennessee was not in my first four.
So you got Tennessee at 5.
Tennessee was not in my first four. So Tennessee is number 5.
At 5. Okay.
Tennessee, for all the reasons I spoke about when I talked about the, my question marks about Ohio State, they're still going to be there. The defensive line, especially with the injuries that has happened to Ohio State's offensive line, and the way they're shuffling it, and it hasn't seemed to really settle yet. And they had an extra week, so you better come up with something. But I think that gives them a puncher's chance, especially seeing what we saw a couple weeks ago against Michigan, where Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant dominated that game. They dominated that game from the inside out. Everybody talks about, they just kept running the ball up the middle. No, they were running stretch. They were running outside zone. And then Mason Graham was running that down too. he was running that down too from 3 technique. And it never got out there. The ball just never got out there. I mean, but I think Tennessee, James Pearson, then they could have that. I don't know if it'll be that level of impact, but they can take advantage of that weakness possibly. My number 6. I'm going to go with Oh man. Uh, cause really at this point, a lot of these are just like what I don't trust about the higher rated team. So like number six probably be SMU, just because what happens if we get into the game and Drew Aller he's self checking, James Franklin's self checking. What happens? Then I think they have the higher
Only Darnell, only Darnell can appropriately leverage a hoop terminology in football in the appropriate way, and it fits Penn State. Self-checking. I love that framework. You're right. You are so right.
yeah. That's really what it comes down to. And then Notre Dame would be seven. Actually, no. Let me go Clemson at seven. Clemson at seven. Dabo Sweeney. He has playoff experience. He's a championship coach. Cade Klubnik, he's coming around. They still have a lot of talent on that defense. Quinn Ewers, he's talented, but he has a lot of shaky moments. Uh, can a shaky moment happen under the lights, under the pressure? You never
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Yours got some Errol Spence in him. He can be dominant at times, but you don't know.
And then sometimes, they say you got two quarterbacks. You got, but
Yeah,
actually they got two really good quarterbacks, but it still comes up. It's like, oh, we're gonna throw Arch Manning here. No, what I'm saying. There's a little bit. You got a little bit of that in there.
yeah.
And then team number eight, Mr. Irrelevant. No, so it don't have to be Mr. Irrelevant. But the last team for this is going to be Notre Dame. I don't have a whole lot of faith in Notre Dame. I don't know if it stems from the the era of the 14 playoff where we just kept seeing them come in and then they lose. They just play and run into Bama and just lose 31-0 over and over and over again. But I don't know. I just never really had a whole lot of faith in them. They can definitely prove me wrong, but yeah, I don't trust them at all. To be honest with you, but hey, if they prove me wrong, I'll gladly eat my words.
Yeah, and I think the NIU thing sits there, even though they went down and beat Texas A&M.
It's NIU, but then last year you had Marshall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's just they're prone to stuff like that.
yeah, yeah. And some of it's just because they're not explosive offensively in the way you would think. Like they're explosive against lesser teams, but in those games that when you match up, that explosiveness doesn't always show up in those
But then what
with
what
those
else
guys.
does that? But what else does that say? Could it possibly say that you're not necessarily as prepared?
Yeah,
And
I'm
then
not going.
going against Kirk, I'll tell you how I feel about Kirk Signetti.
Yeah,
I was like, man, is there going to be a mismatch on that level?
yeah,
That's one thing I'm thinking about as well.
yeah. Because he's gonna execute, and
Mm.
especially after he was mad after that Ohio State game, and he's looking to put it on folks. So when I look at my rankings, at five I had Penn State. Part of it is that Drew Aller, self check. He's not a big game quarterback. Um, he's shaky. Franklin gets shaky. They got the most talented tight end in the country, multi athlete tight end in the big games. They'll use him and be creative against Purdue. Get in the big game, forget he on the field. And so it's just that type of execution. For the first time in the championship game against Oregon, they actually did it. Like that's the first time, even though they lost, it looked like they put it together. And so and SMU held Clemson to 49 yards rushing. SMU not coming up there just to play. They coming. They coming up
Mm-hmm.
in there, and so it's like when they get hit in the mouth, it they found a way to be creative against Wisconsin because Wisconsin only had a few pellets in the gun, and then they brought you know Bo off the bench, and he did his thing. Now he's not going to be there, so they don't even got their relief pitcher to come in. So I think that's going to be a tough place to play. The only thing that's helping them is it's going to be like 22 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Them cats coming from Texas up Dallas, Fort Worth area, up to 22 degrees, getting off that plane. That right there that's going to be the 12th man. If there's especially a 12th man, the 12th man is going to be that weather is what's going to happen. Only reason I got Indiana down here because Indiana is they got some flaws, but I think this is going to be such a messy game that um for both these teams, I it could be 50-49. It could be, you know, 2019. It could be ugly. And so I just think I got Indiana and Notre Dame right there at I think what 6 and 7. Um,
I don't know if I see Notre Dame putting up 50 points.
No, I don't, but because they could probably run all over them. It just you know what I'm saying. Like whatever they do, they at the crib. I just think it's going to be a ugly game. But the thing about it, Indiana's like what second in the nation in scoring. They put 43 up. Now the only team they didn't put one up on is Ohio State. Notre Dame's got a great defense. So that's going to be the battle. But um, I might trust Indiana's defense more than I trust Notre Dame's offense. So that's kind of those two could be flipped, but they're 6 and 7. And then I got SMU at 8. And the only reason I think SMU actually can win, the only thing I got them at 8, and they got everything they're going. In fact, they're going to be playing in 27-degree weather, and I think that's a factor. That's what I love about this playoff is having some of these southern teams come north. Everybody talk all that junk about being, well, bring your butt on up north and put them long johns on. The only reason I got them is I don't know what them kids' bodies gonna look like when they got to play at 27 degrees. I don't know what that's gonna look like at game time. That's the only reason I got them there because that is a factor. If you go to that plane at Dallas, what is it, Dallas about 60, about 70, 80, and you land and you just ain't landing anywhere. You land out in the middle of nowhere where the wind is not gonna be. There's nothing. Ain't no buildings cutting it off. You're gonna be out there in the middle of nowhere catching that wind. So it could be 27 degrees. It might be 15 with the wind chill. That's why I got them there. Woo, Hammer, what you got on that lower level? What you got? Bring us home.
I got number 5, got Indiana. They're playing with house money. Great year, just raw and draw. I think that, but I again, as far as the Cinderella story and the comeback story, the fact that this is the most prolific year in Indiana history. Definitely, I am at 5 because I just again they had a great season and it's not a lack of trust or they just I don't think they'll win a first round game, but I think they definitely will will hold their own. As far as number 6, see,
It gets tough now, man.
yeah, I know. I tell you, I got Clemson because again, nobody expects them to win. He slipped in there, and again, I think Dabo, as far as to navigate not getting his first pro player with today we talked about. So doing that, I think again, it's house money for him. They got a bad draw with Texas, and he's happy to be there. So I definitely think that I got number 6. Number 7, I got Ohio State. Again, I don't trust Mr. Day. We have an SEC draw too as well. Trust him in the big game. And then finally, number 8 is definitely James Franklin. James Franklin is one of the worst Big Ten big game coaches ever. The record shows that. And so the bottom line is that I think they're going to get upset and they're going to lose. And therefore, It's gonna be a debacle for them. 6 seed to go down to SMU, and I see that, and it's gonna be ugly at Happy Valley. It's gonna be ugly when that game happens and they lose. It's gonna be an ugly scene seeing the fans. The fans are not sportsmen. It's gonna be a real ugly display because for SMU to come in there and Happy Valley and beat them, that's gonna be an ugly display where the fan base is gonna absolutely clown. And I look forward to it because again, brother Franklin, respect him, but he just can't win the big game, and it just show over and over again. It's not
Man,
an aberration. Not aberration. That
Amber,
brother can never
you know
win
I'm
the big
laughing,
game,
man.
ever win the big game, and so he's definitely number 8 until proven otherwise because he has shown consistently he cannot win big games. What's it like 1-11 against top 5 or some craziness? It's just sad and.
But to his defense, this ain't no top 5 game.
Yeah,
I agree, but
It's a
I
decent,
agree,
it's decent
but
level competition.
I
they
agree,
number
but I
11.
don't
He
trust
That's
him in the
why
usually
big
he
that's why I
usually
had
game.
them
wins
higher because they
decent
number
I
level.
don't
11.
trust him in the big game, man. I don't trust him. I don't trust him. And I
But
like the fact
this is the
I
crazy
don't
thing
trust
about
him.
it. If we were doing some quantitative analysis and theme stuff, and we tried to and applied it to this, Penn State might be at the bottom just to the fact if we look at the terms described. Darnell, you
Trust.
said self check twice, and then we got a debacle. We got a debacle from Hammer. And I couldn't argue with him, put him at 8. It's
Hey,
like
but Penn
all of us
State
think
beat
they could be 8.
Penn State beat you. Didn't they beat Utah a couple years ago in the Rose Bowl? Was it last year or
Yeah,
2 years ago?
they've gone down to
And
Auburn. They ran
Drew
Auburn
Allen was
out their own
playing. Drew
crib.
Allen was playing in that game.
And
Yeah,
Gerard
And both of the
was he
running
the
backs.
top
You got Nick
quarterback recruit in the
Singleton.
country? Yeah,
Nick
again,
Singleton
bro,
was in there.
they not
Kayvon
winning big
Allen.
games. So like I said, I have affinity for my black coaches always, as long as they're good people. But that brother, like I said, he's hard to cheer for, man. I want to cheer for the brother, but he's hard to cheer for because he just keeps on losing big games. And so, yeah, like I said, it'd be great. I don't trust him, but I hope he can again earn my trust back. But he can't right now. Brother Franklin has no trust. Period. None. And so that's where it's unfortunate. I hope he proves me wrong. I hope they come out and they blow out SMU. But can I trust him to do that? Oh, I can't trust him to do that. That's why we talk about trust. Can't trust him. Can't trust him. Period. Can't trust Brother Franklin until he proves me otherwise. That brother, I expect him to take an L. I expect him to get embarrassed. I expect him to be the laughing stock of college football over this weekend. And I hope he proves me wrong because he's a good dude. Went to Vanderbilt, killed it, and now Penn State. Could have gone pro, my understanding. But the brother, like I said, got to win a big game, bro. It's going to turn, the heat's going to turn up. If you lose this game, bro, the heat's going to turn up, bro. And you know that. So I know, like I said right now, you better bring it, bro. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm not the only one that doesn't trust you. I'll put it away. I'm not the only one that doesn't trust you, brother. Like I said, there are a lot of people nodding their head like, yeah,
so
Hammer's
Hammer,
telling the truth.
you
Hammer's
just
telling the truth.
you just
Yeah.
you just set me up for the next segment of this because what's going to be the Sunday morning headlines? What do y'all think? Given all the things you said, I go. Who wants to go first?
I
Darnell,
go
do you have a?
first.
Hammer, when you want to go first, what's going to be
Yeah,
the
I go
Sunday morning
first.
headlines?
SMU, baby. SMU's back. Back from the death penalty. That's what's all going to be about. Back from the death penalty. The most infamous program. The program was shut down for 2 years. I'm telling you, SMU is back. And Rhett Lashley's one of the best coaches in college football. And not going right now, but trust me, 2026 he's going to be a elite program, an elite program, SEC, something like that, because this dude is the truth. And so see that, and the quarterback's nice. This is going to be a nice thing. And SMU looks at back from the death penalty, like Lazarus. Back, back, bro.
There
And
we
that's the thing
go.
about back.
Hammer writing them
Yeah,
headlines.
Mustangs back. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So that's what's gonna happen, man.
good.
That's the back for the penalty, back for the death penalty, man. There'll be reprieve. Yeah, you got
All
reprieve, man.
right. Uh,
NCAA reprieve.
my headline's going to be Buckeyes survive in advance. They gets 2 more weeks. he go, that post game interview. He gonna be like, whew, whew. He gonna breathe. He gonna say, and you gonna see in his eyes. I get a few more weeks. That's what he got. That's one headline I think will be there. Darnell,
Man, I don't think yours is too far off. I'm not too confident about that game. I'm not too confident. But part of me now I'm thinking about the week is I have a weird feeling that Clemson gonna pull off the upset.
I'm telling you,
Clemson go.
man. I was about to have it's this right now is counterculture. I mean, given how the election went, this would be how this is football's election right now. Counterculture. I'm telling you, man. I got this weird feeling about Dabo.
Yeah, he gonna come back and he gonna give a Joel Osteen speech. He gonna- yeah. Oh, man.
When you say it's gonna be blessings with the Tigers.
I just I just want to thank the good Lord for giving us the victory today. None of this would be possible without him.
We just did it the
Yeah.
Clemson way. We just did it the Clemson way. I'm telling you, and all them front office, all them cats making all them changes back at Clemson, gonna be
Yeah.
cringing all the way
You know,
home.
I say you know Levon gonna be there.
Yep, yep.
Yep.
Cuz gonna be there. They all gonna be praising. It's just, I'm with you, man. I got a weird feeling. It just feels like Dabo got another one in him, and it's like everybody put all the dirt on him at the beginning of the season, and he's standing and rising. Yeah, and the players standing with him. It's gonna be something else. He gonna do it his way. And you know what made me feel that way is after spending some time with Izzo at the Mile Invitational, who has a similar approach in the basketball side.
Yeah.
Uh, and um, and you start to understand some of the underpin. He does a better job of articulating it than Dabo. Dabo's on this righteous side. I think Izzo does a better job of articulating it as part of his philosophy. So I think he doesn't get the kind of pushback Dabo does in that way. But yeah, man, I think I got a feeling it's going to be a crazy headline. I'm with you on the Indiana thing. As much as we talked a little bit, Hammer and Darnell, y'all, we talk. Man, Indiana's there's a couple of teams that just could be scary, just because they don't care. And Indiana's one of them.
Got nothing to lose. Got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Nobody. If you told people Indiana be in the playoff right now, they would have asked you to get either drug tested, or they would have told you to get committed.
Yep.
Because that's the bottom line with Indiana. I mean, they've turned around with the NIL money, with the coaching, with the culture, in 1 year. Amazing. So they got nothing. I mean, if they come out, a lot of them get blown out. They come out and fight hard, which they will. They got a great season. They're playing simple. So
Well, I tell you, we're gonna sit back and see how our rankings come. We'll have a chance to check in with each other after all this stuff. You know, happens after we get through everything. You know, and kind of we can kind of um, uh, see what's going on in terms of that. Uh, uh, but let's we got all kinds of stuff going on back here. I got all kinds of stuff going on here in the background. So let's drop the mic here. As we close, we always try to send some flowers, try to at least lay some stuff out and share. And so who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Yep.
I want to drop the mic by giving my flowers out to the young one. The
Mm.
youngin, AJ DeBonsa. AJ DeBonsa, 17 years old, plays at Utah Prep. he signed an NIL deal for $7 million. He going to BYU for $7 million. But I know, as a black scholar as myself, I kind of feel a way about him going to BYU, knowing Brigham Young's history. But
Yep.
you know what? I can't knock the brother for you know achieving generational wealth, life changing money for his family. You know what I'm saying? That's something that needs to be applauded. Something that proud of him for. He's a great talent, and wishing all the best for him and his family in his next chapter of his life. So drop the mic by giving my flowers, tip my cap out over to AJ DeBonza.
Mm, that's right. You take that money and reinvest it into the community. Let's make it work. All right, Hammer.
I'm gonna drop the mic for Juan Soto. Uh, Historic contract, turned down $440 million, same length of deal. Got got 300. What was it? 15 million more. So I mean, or 25 million more. So give the young man credit. Again, people talk about how ridiculous it is, but the bottom line is the man generates money in the largest market in the United States, and so a kid from Dominican, poor kid from Dominican, when only 25 years old. Amazing, no deferred money. Give him credit. And so he bet himself and he won big time, like the true lottery. And so shout out, flowers to Mr. Soto, definitely.
All right, that's always good one. I want to flowers out closer to home to our man, Coach Cecil, who has been a consistent supporter with us on the Maui Invitational trip. It's just been great to have him part of the team, who retired from his higher education role. Coach Cecil coached and also served in higher education leadership at Beloit College, and he retired last week. It was good to be there, and the impact I know he's had on so many in that community. Both Hammer and I have had opportunity to work in higher education and connect, and your ability to have an impact on your colleagues and on students, and he's someone who over time, not only in his work as a coach in athletics, but also as he transitioned to senior administrator role, always carried his values and his focus and his commitment and his spirituality as part of who he is. And he's part of RSG family, but he's been big bro to us, and so I just wanted to anytime you have a chance to kind of transition and enjoy life with your family and grandkids, you got to appreciate that. So that's just a message from RSG and all of us to Coach Cecil and wishing him well on his retirement. I do want to close, and this is something closer to myself, and I would say to C Hamp, to Carl's world, given the work he does every day, supporting young folks. I do want to send out our thoughts and prayers to the community of Abundant Life
By the
Christian School
life, yeah,
in
Lord.
Madison, Wisconsin, where there was a shooting by a 15-year-old girl who ended up killing a teacher, another teen, and wounding six. We see a lot of gun violence. It was tough being in a space in a meeting yesterday with colleagues who I was bringing together really in this meeting for the first time, and at least three or four parents in there. And it was hard for them to even focus because one of my colleagues had a daughter who was about a half a mile away from the school where the shooting was happening. So, I just um, part of what we try to do here is not just we enjoy having sports, we'll have a good time about it, but also use this space to you know um, bring attention to things that we need to pay attention to. We have folks who can do something about this, and we have entirely too many of these shootings happening in our schools. In a country that can do a whole bunch of things, we can't figure out how to create a safe space for our schools. And I can say this for I know what Carl does in his day job, really working on a really important project and community that they have with One City in Madison, and the incredible work they're doing to try to not only help families but also help young people. We need to be able to create these spaces where folks can come to school and learn. So we'll just say that at RSG, we're gonna keep it moving. But I do want
Mhm.
to make sure that we highlight that community is hurting, and a whole bunch of folks in the community hurting as a result of something that we could have tried to find a way to avoid. All right. Until next time, we will see you on the other side, y'all. Take care.